I lean in closer to my drafting table, adjusting the spacing between the letters on Ryan and Aubrey's engagement invites for the third time today. Sunlight pours in through the window, catching the metallic copper accents I'd carefully added. It looks good. Almost too good. My brother deserves the best, after all. My phone buzzes against the oak surface, skittering dangerously close to my coffee mug. Ryan's name lights up the screen, and without even thinking, I smile. Parties this weekend. Guest list is super tight. Hope you understand. My fingers stop moving. I read the message again, convinced I must be missing something. The brush pen slips from my hand, leaving an ugly smear across the sample card. What? I whisper into the quiet room. As I reach for my phone, my elbow nudges the coffee mug. It tips over, spilling dark liquid onto my sketches. I barely register it. My eyes lock on the framed photo next to my work area, Ryan in uniform, grinning, standing next to 3 giant care packages I'd spent days putting together. The ones I stayed up all night packing so they'd make the military mail deadline. I even baked his favorite cookies, even though I had a big deadline the next morning. He once told me they were a lifesaver during deployment. My hands start to shake as I tap Dad's number. Elena? He answers after 4 rings, distracted and already a little annoyed. Everything okay? Dad, Ryan just texted me about some party this weekend. His engagement thing? I ask. My voice sounds calmer than I feel. I have to be misunderstanding this. There's a pause, then a sigh. It's just a small get-together, Elena. Nothing fancy. I pinch the bridge of my nose. But I'm his sister. I've literally been designing their official invitations all week. Dad's tone shifts into that all-too-familiar dismissiveness. It's just a thing at Aubrey's parents' lake house. Don't turn this into drama, okay? You know how your brother gets when people start expecting too much. Expecting too much from me, I guess. Right, I managed to say, swallowing hard. Of course. I hang up before he can hear the break in my voice. The sunlight that felt warm earlier now has a colder edge as it hits my ruined sketches. Hours of unpaid work for a brother who couldn't even be bothered to include me in his engagement celebration. My mind rewinds 6 months. That 3 a.m. call from Poland when Ryan was panicking because his bank account got locked. I didn't even blink. I wired him $2,000 straight from my savings. He still hasn't paid me back. Then there was the night I stayed up, designing their engagement announcement, because Aubrey decided the one they hired didn't feel right. I skipped Marissa's birthday dinner to get it done in time. 18 months of deployment, I mailed a care package every single month, checked in on Mom and Dad religiously. Helped Aubrey move into their place so everything would be ready when Ryan came home. My phone pings. A new message, this one from my cousin Lila. Just got the evite for MB's party. You heading up to the lake this weekend? My stomach turns. Evite? I whisper to myself. What evite? I text her back. 3 dots appear, disappear. Then reappear. Finally. Oh, awkward. I just assumed you were going. It's at the Sinclair's lake house. Looks like everyone's invited. I ask her to forward it. There's a long pause before it shows up in my inbox. The screen lights up with a cheery, nautical-themed invitation. Join us for a lakeside engagement celebration. I scan it, but the details blur. One thing is obvious. This is no low-key gathering. 120-plus guests. I scroll through the list. Ryan's coworkers, distant relatives, Aubrey's old high school friends. Practically everyone but me. I call Dad again. Before I can even say a word, he jumps in. Your brother has his reasons, Elena. Maybe he thought you'd feel out of place with that many people, he adds. You know how you get. How I get? The words barely leave my mouth. Just respect his decision. That's all I'm asking. After we hang up, I just sit there, staring at the screen. My bank account stares back, years of careful saving, Years of choosing family over myself. My cursor hovers over a button I've been avoiding for too long. Book now, Jackson Hole Ski Resort. The trip I've been dreaming about for years. Always put off because something or someone needed me more. Not this time. I click. First class ticket. Mountain View Suite. 6 nights. As the confirmation email hits my inbox, I grab my passport, snap a photo next to the flight receipt, and post it on Instagram with a caption. When you're not on the list, you make your own. First class feels unreal. Quiet luxury wraps around me like something out of a movie. The leather seat hugs my back as I sip champagne. The bubbles tickle my tongue, a strange mix of guilt and electric freedom buzzing through my chest. Another? The flight attendant asks, gesturing to my nearly empty glass. Yes, I answer. No hesitation, no mental debate over whether I've earned it. Thank you. This flight alone costs more than a month's rent, but that emergency fund? Still untouched, except when Ryan needed it. The seatbelt sign dings off, and I let myself breathe in a way I haven't in years. The Mountain View Suite is something else entirely. My apartment could fit in the bathroom. Floor-to-ceiling windows look out over snow-dusted peaks, glowing rose gold, and the king-sized bed is massive. The marble in the bathroom? Straight out of one of those glossy design mats. I stand in front of the mirror, almost startled by the woman staring back at me. Her eyes look fierce, some mix of fear and rebellion I've never seen there. Who are you? I whisper. My phone buzzes again for the 12th time in an hour. Dad. I silence it. By the time I wake up the next morning, there's already a message from Mom waiting for me, unread, just like the 3 from Ryan and 1 from Aubrey. I don't even bother checking what they. I just flip the phone face down on the nightstand. Whatever family fire they've lit this time, someone else can play firefighter. They said what? I grip my coffee mug tighter as Lila's face pops up on my tablet screen. The lodge's breakfast nook is tucked away from the main dining area, making it the perfect little hideout for private calls like this. No way I could have heard this kind of news over the noise of the shared tables. I wasn't supposed to overhear, Lila says, lowering her voice. Aubrey was talking to her sister in the bathroom, and I quote, "We just thought Elena would bring down the vibe." I stare at her. She actually said that? Lila nods, almost apologetic. Then something about how you're always so serious and make everything into a thing? The coffee in my mouth suddenly tastes like regret. Bring down the vibe. And Ryan? I ask, already fearing the answer. He didn't say anything, she admits. Just nodded, like he agreed. My phone buzzes again. A text from Mom this time. I'm sorry, sweetheart, but you know how your dad and brother are once they've made up their minds. I hope you understand. Understand what, exactly? That I don't count? That being family is only convenient when it benefits them? This isn't the first time, Lila says softly. She hesitates. You remember Thanksgiving at Uncle Pete's? Or Ryan's welcome home party? What about them? I ask, even though my brain's already putting it all together. The last minute changes, the vague details, the way people acted, surprised when I actually showed up. They've been doing this for a while, Elena, she says. I thought you knew. The words settle in me like a brick in my gut. I haven't just been left out. I've been strategically left out. My phone lights up again. Voicemail from Nora. I listen while I get ready for my ski lesson, her raspy voice filling the quiet room. You've changed, Nora. Standing up for yourself. I've lived too long to watch this kind of nonsense go unchecked. You call me when you're ready. Until then, breathe that mountain air and don't look back. I tuck my phone into my pocket, a quiet smile tugging at the corners of my mouth. I wasn't expecting to feel light today, but I do. First time on the slopes? My instructor asks. Luca looks like a man carved from the mountain itself. Weathered skin, deep laugh lines, and that constant snow squint. First time doing anything just for me, I say. He grins like he understands exactly what I mean. Well, you picked good company. By afternoon, I found my people. A loose crew of solo travelers gathered at the lodge. A retired teacher from Vermont. A widower celebrating his birthday. A young woman getting over a rough breakup. No one here cares about family ties or drama. We trade stories over mugs of hot chocolate, like we've known each other for years. For hours, I don't even think about my phone. It's just there, forgotten in my pocket. The beginner's slope isn't exactly Everest, but gliding down that gentle hill without wiping out feels like a personal victory. The icy air bites at my cheeks, and when I laugh, it bursts out in soft clouds. My body starts to remember how to move without fear. How to lean into life instead of bracing against it. Not bad for a rookie, Luca calls out behind me. I've spent most of my life making sure everyone else has it easier. Funny how it took all this for me to figure out how to do that for myself. That evening, the lodge's main room is alive with a low, golden buzz. A crackling stone fireplace warms up the space, and people lounge in clusters, sipping drinks and swapping stories. I curl up in a leather armchair, hands wrapped around a mug of cider spiked just enough to take the edge off. Sophia's recounting her dolphin swimming trip in Hawaii, and I'm smiling before I realize it. My phone hasn't made a peep in hours. When I finally pull it out, I see 15 missed calls and 32 unread texts. Only this time, I don't feel that old rush of anxiety, just curiosity. Whatever storm they're caught in, they're dealing with it. And more importantly, so am I. I glance out the window at the fiery sunset spreading across the peaks and snap a photo. I post it to Instagram with calm, steady fingers. Good morning to a new life. Have you ever had to step away from family to find out who you really are? Drop a comment if you've ever had to choose between being loyal to others and being loyal to yourself. The fire crackles beside me as I lift my glass of mulled wine in a quiet toast to me. 3 days into this trip, and that hard knot between my shoulders that's lived there for years, it's finally starting to. Then my phone vibrates at the table, again and again. On the 6th buzz in under a minute, I cave and 17 notifications, all from Lila. Sauce, complete meltdown, call me. I hesitate, thumb hovering above the screen. I could ignore it, stay wrapped in this fragile piece. But another part of me, the part that spent years watching the family circus from front row seats, needs to know what's going on. I step out onto the terrace. Snow blankets the ground, glowing under the warm lights of the resort. Lila picks up on the first ring, her voice loud over the background chaos. "Elena! You are missing pure drama," she practically yells, a mix of panic and glee in her voice. "What now?" "Ryan," she says. "He's been flirting with Sasha Whitman. You remember her? His high school girlfriend?" The name alone makes my stomach drop. They were reminiscing. Then he started touching her arm. Now they're at the bar, heads together like they're the only ones at this party. I pinched the bridge of my nose. "And Aubrey?" "Lost it. Threw her champagne in his face. The whole glass. Then stormed out yelling that the engagement is off." My stomach tightens, which is ridiculous considering everything. Even now, my brain kicks into old habits, trying to figure out how to fix it, what to say, how to de-escalate. But then I remind myself, they didn't think I was important enough to invite in the first place. And that's not even the worst of it, Lila adds, her voice dropping again. "After Aubrey left, Ryan punched a wall. I think he broke something in his hand. Your dad went off on him, then Ryan started shouting back. It got ugly. The bartender cut them both off, and the manager threatened to shut down the whole event. I can picture it clearly. Ryan, red-faced and volatile. Dad, trying to fix everything and only making it worse. Just like always. Mom's probably in the corner, wringing her hands and pretending none of it's happening. Classic move. But Grandma Nora? She's the real MVP, according to Lila. She leans in close to the camera, voice dropping like she's passing along sacred gossip. She walked right up to Ryan, looked him dead in the eyes, and said, and I'm quoting here, "This is what happens when you cut out the only responsible adult in your life." Apparently, the room went dead silent after that. A strange feeling bubbles up in my chest. Not quite a laugh, not quite a cry, maybe both. For 32 years, I've been the quiet backbone, the go-to emergency contact, the one who shows up at 3 a.m. with answers, rides, bail money, or a calm voice. The dependable one. Always. Except this time, I'm not. "I should get going," I say, glancing at the time. "I signed up for a moonlight snowshoe hike." "What? Elena, did you even hear me? Your brother's falling apart, Aubrey left with her bridesmaids, and everyone's looking for you." "They know where I am," I reply, calm as a frozen lake. "I told them. On Instagram. 3 days ago." Then I end the call and mute my phone entirely. 10 minutes later, I'm moving through untouched snow with 6 strangers and a guide named Noah. The forest is wrapped in hush. The only sounds are breaths and the soft crunch of snow under our boots. "First time?" asks the woman beside me. "Isabel from Vancouver, if I remember right." "At everything," I say with a grin. "First time snowshoeing. First time in Jackson Hole. First time choosing myself over family drama." She lets out a laugh that feels completely unfiltered, echoing off the tree. That last one's no joke. As we climb, the burn settles into my calves, and my breath clouds the air in steady puffs. Every step demands attention. Lift, place, press. There's no room left in my head for anxious thoughts about home. Halfway up, Noah has us pause in a clearing. The valley below sparkles with lights, like someone spilled a jar of stars. The moon overhead is so bright, it makes the snow glow blue. Take a second, Noah says quietly. Sometimes we get so focused on the climb, we forget to look around. Something in those words hits me right in the chest. It cracks me open a little, and a laugh escapes, raw and real. Isabel chuckles beside me, and soon the others join in. Our laughter floats into the air, warm against the cold. And suddenly, the thought lands, it's not my job to fix their mess. For so long, I've played the role of fixer, buffer, the steady one. But maybe the only thing that'll shake them awake is my absence. 3 hours later, body aching in the best way, I'm back in my room. I finally switch my phone back on. The notifications flood in like a mini avalanche. 14 texts from Ryan, starting with angry, "Where the hell are you?" turning into blaming "this wouldn't have happened if you'd been here," and ending with "please call." Everything's a disaster. 8 missed calls from Dad, capped off with a text that clenches my jaw. "We needed you. You abandoned your family when it mattered." 3 voicemails from Mom, each more weepy than the last, each ending in her usual passive sign-off. "Please don't make this a thing, honey." And 1 message from Aubrey, just 30 minutes ago. "I need help. Ryan's a mess. Can you talk some sense into him?" My thumb hovers over Ryan's name. My instincts almost take over. For a second, I feel the pull, that old habit of stepping in, smoothing things over, swallowing my own frustration to keep the peace. But instead, I go to my contact. I find Ryan's name and press block. The screen asks if I'm sure. I've never been more sure of anything. Dad's next, then Mom, then Aubrey. With every tap, I feel something heavy roll off my shoulder. Weight I've been dragging for so long, I forgot it didn't belong to me. Then I call the front desk. "Hi, this is room 342. I'd like to extend my stay 4 more nights, please." After that, I sit by the fireplace and take a photo of myself, the flames casting a golden glow across my face. I look calm, grounded, whole. I post it with a caption I never thought I'd write: "Zero regrets, 100% peace." Then I silence my phone, set it on the nightstand, and for the first time in my adult life, I fall asleep not waiting for it to ring. I'm halfway down Silverado, a blue run that would have had me shaking in my boots a week ago, when my phone vibrates against my leg. I almost ignore it. I've already let 14 calls go straight to voicemail, but something about this one makes me pause. I pull over to the side, heart still pumping from the thrill of the descent. "Grandma Nora." She's the only one I'd answer for. "Elena," she says, her voice laced with both concern and relief. "They're losing their damn minds trying to get a hold of you." As she talks, I watch a father and daughter glide past me, their laughter floating behind them. "I needed some space." "Space," she snorts. "Your brother's left 17 voicemail. Started with, 'How could you do this to me?' and ended with, 'Please, I need you.'" Her tone softened. "Your father even texted an apology. Your mother made him do it, obviously, but still." I close my eyes, letting the sun warm my face. "And Aubrey?" I ask. "Her sister showed up at your apartment yesterday," Grandma says, laughing. "Thought you were hiding there. Found your neighbor watering your plants." "I asked Marissa to check on them," I murmur. A snow rabbit darts between 2 trees, and for a moment, I just watch. "Where are you, honey?" she asks. I smile, a real one that lives in my eyes. Somewhere I should have been years ago. "Perfect form," Julian calls from below as I make the final turn. 3 days ago, he was patiently helping me up off the beginner slope. Now I'm gliding down Freedom, a run that matches the name in every way. "See you at the lodge for a brisky," he calls. "Wouldn't miss it," I say, surprised at how easily the words come. The lodge staff knows me now. Chloe at the front desk saves me the crossword. Nico remembers how I take my coffee. Renee, the concierge, catches me just before I head up to my room, waving me over with that friendly energy she always has. "Elena, the Sinclairs were asking about you. They're putting together a little family dinner at their cabin tonight and thought you might enjoy some home-cooked comfort." I stop, surprised. The Sinclairs, a retired couple I met during that moonlight snowshoe tour, don't owe me a thing. They don't need me to fix anything or design or explain. They just liked being around me. I'd love to, I tell her, and the ease of it, the sheer simplicity, makes my throat tighten, almost brings tears. Later, back in my room, I open the journal I bought from the Lodge gift shop. The leather covers soft under my fingers as I flip through pages. My handwriting at the start is jagged, hesitant, but somewhere along the way, it shifts, grows bolder, more certain. Day 1. Arrived completely wrecked, wondering if this was a huge mistake. Day 5. Skied a blue run, fell twice, got up twice, no one judged me. Day 7. Starting to recognize the woman in the mirror. Now I press my pen to a fresh page. Day 8. The person who came here isn't the one going home. In the wellness center the next day, Dr. Whitman watches me from across her sunny office. She doesn't phrase it as a question. You've made an intentional choice to disconnect. I nod, flipping my silenced phone over in my hands. 67 notifications. I haven't opened a single one. Tell me about your family, she says. Unfiltered. And I do. It all pours out. 18 months of carefully packed care packages. The $2,000 wired without hesitation. The invitations I designed for free. The birthday dinners I skipped to meet someone else's deadline. The savings I drained solving everyone else's emergencies. Going back to that life, I say slowly, the words forming with unexpected certainty, would be like walking back into a burning building. Dr. Whitman nods once. And yet, they're starting to see what they lost. I raise an eyebrow. Are they, though? People only change, she says, when the pain of staying the same finally outweighs the pain of change. Your absence might have shifted that balance. That evening, I curl up by the fireplace in the great room, book in hand. A new message from Lila lights up my screen. Grandma Nora moved into your parents' guest room, says she's taking charge. Your dad nearly had an aneurysm. I chuckle, imagining Grandma stomping in, setting things straight in the way only she can. Another message follows. Ryan told your dad they've taken you for granted. And get this, Dad agreed. I almost dropped my wine. Before I can reply, a video message pops up. Aubrey. I pause. Then hit play. Her face appears. No filters, no perfect lighting. Her eyes are red and swollen. Elena, she begins, voice shaky. I've treated you horribly. Not just lately, for a long time. She wipes her eyes. No mascara, no rehearsed lines. Just raw. I don't know why you'd forgive me, but I really hope, you'll give me a chance to make things right. I set the phone down. My chest is tight with emotion, but not in that panicked, drowning way. It's a slow swirl. Just then, the front desk calls. Miss Carter, you've got a delivery. Downstairs, the clerk hands me a cream envelope. My name's written in Ryan's unmistakable handwriting. Careful, more deliberate than usual. Inside is a single page. I don't deserve forgiveness, but I have to try. I stand in the lodge lobby, snow drifting gently outside the tall windows, wondering how long the road to forgiveness should be. Whether rushing into it would heal us, or just reopen old wounds. Later, I fold my new cream cashmere sweater, the one I splurged on at the boutique, and lay it into my suitcase. 9 days ago, I threw clothes into this same bag with shaking hands and blurry vision. Now, every movement is intentional, thought out. The person packing today barely resembles the one who fled here. My phone buzzes. Dad again. Just checking. What time should we pick you up tomorrow? I don't hesitate. No need. I've arranged a rental car. 3 dots appear, then vanish. Then, seems unnecessary. We don't mind. I do. I silence the thread. Reclaiming control starts with the small stuff. Choosing the rental. Picking the coffee shop instead of the family kitchen. Setting the tone. Making it clear this wasn't a breakdown. It was a breakthrough. From my balcony, I take one last look at the mountain range bathed in twilight. They've held me through this whole unraveling and rebuilding. Thank you, I whisper to the peaks. The next morning, I spot them through the cafe window before I go in. Dad glancing at his watch. Mom stirring her tea over and over. Ryan has his arm draped around Aubrey, who's scrolling on her phone. The picture of strained anticipation. So familiar, it almost tugs me back into old habits. I square my shoulders and walk inside. Elena! Mom rises halfway, that anxious, too bright smile already plastered on. We saved your usual spot. I take the empty chair slowly, placing my leather portfolio on the table. Its weight keeps me grounded. You look different, Ryan says, squinting like he's seeing me through a new lens. Skiing suits me, I say. I don't look at him. I look at the barista. Dad clears his throat, slipping into his role like a suit. Let's just move past this unpleasantness. Your mother's been worried sick. And Ryan and Aubrey still need help planning the new engagement party. Aubrey nods quickly. We're looking at the first weekend in April. I already made a task spreadsheet. I highlighted your assignments in yellow. Mom reaches across the table, her hand shaky as it covers mine. Sweetheart, please, we need to stick together. Especially after everything. I gently pull my hand away and open my portfolio. Before we move forward, I say, keeping my voice even, we need to acknowledge what happened. Elena, Dad warns, let's not get stuck in negativity. I'm not stuck, I say, meeting his eyes. I'm setting the record straight. I pull out a sheet of paper. February 16th of last year. Ryan called me at 3 a.m. from Poland. His bank card had been frozen. I transferred $2,000 from my emergency savings in under 10 minutes. I look directly at my brother. That loan's still unpaid, I say quietly. Ryan shifts in his seat, glancing down. I've been meaning to. Last September, I go on, I skipped Marissa's birthday dinner so I could redesign your engagement announcement. Because Aubrey didn't like the one you'd already paid for. I set my phone on the table. Screen up. And here, I tap gently, are the texts from Dad telling me not to make this a thing, after being left out of a 120-person party for my own brother. The silence that follows isn't just awkward, it's loaded. The kind that makes people shift in their seats, unsure if the air's gotten too thick or they've just never really listened before. They're all looking at me like I've suddenly started speaking a different language. I'm not here to accuse, I say, folding my hands calmly. I'm here to set boundaries. Dad's face turns a slow, angry red. Now see here. No, David, it's Mom who says it. And for once, her voice is firm, solid. Let her speak. I reach into my portfolio and pull out another sheet. I slide it next to the first. This, I say, is what I need from each of you going forward. Their eyes drop to the page. They read in silence, recognition for my time, effort, and contributions. Advance notice for family events, at least 2 weeks. Loan repayment within 6 months. No more free design work. Family discount, 25%, take it or leave it. Respect my no guilt trips, no pressure. If these lines are crossed, I say, steady as I've ever been, I'll reduce contact until that behavior changes. I meet their eyes. Because I've learned something, love without respect can't survive. And it shouldn't. Dad blinks. So this is what? An ultimatum? It's a choice, I tell him. The kind of relationship you want with me is entirely up to you. I tap the sheets into alignment, my hands calm. And I'll make my choice based on yours. Ryan wipes at the corner of his eye, surprised at his own emotion. Elena, I didn't realize. I know, I say gently, and that's part of the problem. These seem fair, Mom says, her voice tentative, glancing over at Dad. Aubrey raises her perfectly arched eyebrows. So, just to be clear, you're not helping us plan the wedding now? Even after everything? I'll help, I say, but on these terms? I pause, then add, "And there's something else." Their eyes snap back to me. "I've accepted a 6-month design contract. In Colorado. I start next month." "You're leaving?" Dad's hand smacks the table hard enough to rattle our mugs. "Just like that?" "I'm chasing an opportunity," I reply, my voice steady. "Same thing you always encouraged Ryan to do." He opens his mouth, closes it, sinks back into his chair. Ryan leans in, eyes red-rimmed. "I've been a terrible brother, haven't I?" Before I can respond, the coffee shop door swings open, and in walks Grandma Nora, right on cue, like she's been waiting for the moment to land. "Well, look at you," she says, eyes sweeping over me with something like pride. "Took long enough for someone in this family to stand up for themselves." She grabs a chair from the next table and slides it in between Dad and me like she owns the place. She sets her hands flat on the table. "Now," she says, "let's talk about how this family starts moving forward, with a whole lot more equity and a hell of a lot more respect." Out of the corner of my eye, I catch my reflection in the window. Shoulders back, chin high, eyes clear. The mountains gave me this. The gift of becoming the kind of woman who values herself enough to ask others to do the same. Mountains still fill my view as I adjust the blinds in my Colorado apartment. It's been 6 months, and the sight still stops me in my tracks. February's chill creeps in through a cracked window, a luxury I never gave myself back home, where the thermostat stayed low to help cover the heating bill. I run my fingers along a row of postcards pinned neatly on my corkboard. Jackson Hole, Park City, Sedona, Salt Lake City. Each one marks a chapter. Each place a point on the map of the life I'm finally building for me. My phone lights up. Mom's calling, our weekly video chat. I pause before answering the video call, letting myself breathe in deep, slow and grounded. I can still hear my therapist's voice in my head. Boundaries aren't walls. They're doors. You decide when and how they open. "Elena?" Mom's face fills the screen. Her hair's been freshly dyed, probably for the church potluck, and she's trying to adjust the angle like she always does. "You look well rested." "I am." That's it. No justification. No rambling apology or performance. That alone is a new milestone. She hesitates, fiddling with her reading glasses. "Your father mentioned that project you did for the coffee company. He saw one of their billboards off Highway 40. Said it looked like something you'd done. 6 months ago, I would have jumped into a whole explanation, trying to earn their praise. Now I just smile. They were a great client. Already booked me for 3 more campaigns." As we talk, a quiet notification floats across my screen. Text from Ryan. "Wedding invites arrived. Went with your color scheme. Appreciate you, sis. No panic, no disaster. No unspoken expectation to fix something. Just a thank you. Just progress." After Mom and I say goodbye, I open my laptop and find an email from Lila. Subject line: Salt Lake City listings. "Roommate," she wrote. "Colorado looks good on you." I sip my coffee and let a soft wave of pride roll through me. The people who used to treat me like a utility are finally starting to see me as something more. A person. Grandma Nora's letter waits on my counter, still sealed. Her graceful cursive is visible through the cream envelope. Her letters have been a steady hand through all of this. Last week she wrote, "Your father actually asked me how to make your mother's birthday special, without dropping it all on you. First time in 40 years that man has asked me for help." I slide the letter into my journal for later, wanting to savor it when I can sit with it fully. Today is for clarity, for direction, for work that feeds me. Since moving to Colorado, my design business has tripled. I've got clients who understand what boundaries are and respect them. The revised wedding invitation sits on my coffee table. Simple, 30 guests. My name is handwritten by Ryan himself, not Aubrey's mom's assistant this time. I haven't RSVP'd. Not yet. When I showed it to my therapist, she looked at me and said, Going doesn't mean going back. Hotels exist for a reason. This afternoon, I'll meet with Arya, a student I mentor. Talented, thoughtful, still learning how to take up space in a world that tells her not to. She found me through the scholarship I started at the local college. "You're helping me give myself permission," she told me last week. Sometimes I still feel the old weight start to creep in, that fear that I'm pretending to be someone I haven't earned the right to be. Especially with next week's women's retreat coming up, where I'll speak about boundaries. The old me would have spiraled at the idea of being seen as an expert in something I only recently learned how to practice. But that version of me is long gone. Instead, I close my eyes and breathe in gratitude. For strength, for mountains, for the quiet joy of a life that finally feels like mine. The sun outside dips lower, casting warm copper light across my living room walls, the exact shade I'd been perfecting on Ryan's first batch of engagement invitations the day everything changed. My hand rests on the new invitation. Tomorrow I'll book a hotel in my hometown. And I'll RSVP yes. Not because I'm expected, not because I owe anyone anything, but because I choose to go. Because sometimes the most radical form of love is learning how to love yourself first.